Hello. Thank you for considering doing root cause coaching and neurolinguistic programming with me. I want to give you a short video that helps you understand a little bit about what we're going to be doing so that you understand. So, anytime there are things that aren't going the way you want them to, you have the ability to impact that by how you think. There's things from the past that have happened that have me believe things about what's possible for me in my life that limit me. And when you want to make changes to those so that you get different results in your life, you do different things, this is a way to do it. So we're working with something called root cause coaching. You have an issue, I'm not making my phone calls, and you want to look at what's underneath that. What is it that has me believing there's something wrong or it's dangerous or I can't do this or I don't know how? Those are all limiting decisions, limiting beliefs that are based on my experiences from the past. So in root cause coaching, we're able to go underneath the things that you're consciously aware of and identify what's really going on here so that you have the ability to then change those things, heal those things, and release the blocks so that something else becomes possible for you. This is one of the models that we use. There's this pyramid where down here at the bottom, you have conscious mind. And then over here, you have the unconscious mind. And you want to bring those two together. There's things that happened in the past that you're consciously aware of, and there's things that you intend now that you're consciously aware of, but you're not necessarily executing on that because of things that may be going on in your unconscious mind. So when you become consciously aware of the things in your unconscious mind that are stopping you from moving forward, you're able to bring the two together so that you're able to make a different choice about what it is that you want. Does that make sense? When you understand, oh, I don't want to make phone calls. What's underneath that? Oh, it's that I don't want to bother people and all the other things in my personal past that had me not want to make phone calls. When I clear that out, bring the conscious and the unconscious together, release the block, making phone calls is so much easier. Now, here's another thing I wanted to show you. This has a lot of stuff in it, and you're not necessarily going to understand it all. We could talk about this diagram for hours and hours and hours. Let's look at it from the most basic level. If you look up here at the events, these are the things that you see, hear, taste, smell, experience, feel, all of the things that happen in life go in. This information comes from outside and it goes into your mind. You pick all that up through your senses: sight, smell, taste, feeling, all of those things. And all of that information going in, there's 11 million bits of it. That's a lot of data. And you're not able to consciously be aware of all of that, consciously think about, work with all of that material. So it all goes into the mind, into the brain. And this is what's happening in your nervous system, in your brain. And what your brain does to make it so this is a manageable amount of information is it does something we call delete, distort, and generalize. Some of it just pulls it out. I'm in a building and there's a carpet and there's a color and a pattern of the carpet. I'm not consciously paying attention to that. That's not relevant information. So it's just deleted. There's parts of it that are generalized. So if I see a bunch of dogs, there's all these different kinds of dogs, but they're all, in my mind, dogs. It generalizes the information coming in, says, like, these are dogs. So your brain, your mind does the same thing. It takes all of the information and it generalizes a bunch of it. And then the one in the middle there, distort. Information comes in, and my mind, based on my experiences from the past, it twists it. It changes it. It distorts it. Have you ever had somebody out there say something to you and you got all upset about it? That really, when you look at it, is beyond the context of what actually happened. Information came in and I twisted it, changed it, and have an interpretation that is not necessarily based on the facts of what happened. Now, sometimes this happens the other way. I say something to somebody else and they have an over the top reaction. It's like, whoa, what did they get so upset about? So you can see that we all do this. Information comes in and it gets distorted. I said something to Sam and Sam got all upset about it. And it's like, what did I say? It wasn't about what I said. It was about the things from Sam's past that had him interpret it differently than I intended. So when that happens to you, information comes in and it triggers something from the past and you distort it. Make all kinds of meanings about what happened that are different from what perhaps actually happened. Okay, so information comes in, 11 million bits, it comes in, you delete, distort, and generalize, and what comes out the other side is 134 bits per second, 7 plus or minus 2. So you have a much smaller amount of information that actually comes into your conscious awareness. This is what you are able to actually work with, what you're able to be aware of. And this is what we call your internal representation. Somebody says something to me and I make it mean something in my mind. If I'm not upset and somebody says, hey, it's time for dinner, then I interpret that as like, oh, it's time for dinner. And that's my internal representation. But if somebody says something that upsets me, it's like, oh, I don't like what you did. And it's like, oh, I make it all kinds of things up over here. Oh, they're upset with me. I did something wrong. All this stuff. It's not necessarily what they said. It's what I make it mean about what they said. So that's the internal representation that got created. The person says, oh, this needs to be fixed. I delete, distort, and generalize, and I get upset out here. I did something wrong. There's something wrong with me. Ah! That's my internal representation. Anytime something comes in, I delete, distort, and generalize, and I make it mean something. Based on this, I get my state. When I'm in that stressed out state, my body is tense, my digestion might not work very well, my brain might not work very clearly. All of these things about my actual state are impacted by what I'm thinking and how I am feeling. This then leads to physiology. When I am stressed and upset all the time over the course of years, that leads to actual pain. It leads to physical health conditions. It leads to all sorts of different things that affect my body. When I'm upset, my digestion doesn't work very well. That's upsetting things happening, making it mean something. I am upset, and it leads to stress in my body. Does that make sense? Now, when this all happens, this happens, comes in, I get an internal representation, that then determines my behavior. That determines what I actually do, which then impacts the results that I get. Now, this is happening all the time, every day. Information comes in, I make it mean something, whether it's true or not, and then that impacts my behavior and my results. Now, this is actually really empowering because it means that I can also work it backwards. If I am getting results that I don't want, any results that I don't want, in my relationships, in my work, in my health, in my business, if any result I am getting is not what I want, I can change my behavior. I can change my behavior based on the internal representation I decide I want to have. When it comes to making phone calls, I make it mean, oh, people are going to be bothered if I call them. I am doing that based on the 134 bits per second that have been automatically coming to me. I can choose different bits. 11 million comes in. Doesn't necessarily mean that that person's bothered by the fact that I'm calling or whatever. I can filter this differently. These are all filters based on the past: environment, decisions, values, beliefs, attitudes, metaprograms, which is language, memories, life experiences, time, space, matter, energy. All of these things are what we use to delete, distort, and generalize. If I am getting an internal representation and a result that I don't want, I can choose to have a different internal representation and choose different 134 bits from all of what's coming in. This is so empowering. I am able to, when I understand that this is what's going on for me, I can choose something different. I can heal myself. I can say, oh, that's not what's going on. I'm going to pick a different way of being, a different way of feeling, a different state. And so I can choose different information from all of this that's coming in. So I can choose to be happy. I can choose to feel. It's like, you know what? It's probably not going to bother them if I call them. And I make my phone calls. And then I can get an entirely different result, starts becoming available. Any result I have in my life that is not what I want, I can choose something different. I can delete, distort, and generalize in a different way so that the picture I create, the experience that I have, the physiology, the health that I have, the behavior that I have, and the results I have can all be different. It's up to me. Does this make sense? So we are working with this conscious and unconscious mind. All of that stuff going on inside the filters, that's unconscious. I am not aware of doing it. And the things that I say that I want, my conscious mind is one thing, but I need to be able to work with both and bring them together so that I can create the experience that I want in my life. I hope this makes sense to you. And if you have questions about it, absolutely ask me. But this way you understand what it is we are working with so that you can start having different results in your life, feel differently, do different things, and have different outcomes based on what you choose rather than being run by automatic things based on the past. All right? Thank you. I look forward to doing root cause coaching and neurolinguistic programming with you. Thank you very much. I am Sandra Lee, energetic initiator and life coach for women entrepreneurs. Empowering action aligned for success. You want to have more success, right? Let's get you there. Thank you.